Hey guys, thanks for watching. Welcome to my channel Saumya's Bookstation. On this channel I spread all the book love that I can. So if you like my videos, please like and share them and subscribe to my channel. And do not forget to press the bell icon so that every time I post a video, you get notified. So it is finally that time of the year when we all talk about our mid-year favorite books, and that's what I'm going to do in today's video. I'm going to talk about 10 such books that really captured my heart in 2018. So I ended up reading 50 books until June. So let's get into the video and I'm going to tell you about 10 fabulous books. The first book is The Mermaid and Mrs. Hancock by Imogen Hermes Gowar. So this is a story about two people, Angelica Neal and Jonah Hancock, and we also get to read about a mermaid. So Jonah Hancock is a merchant who sends out ships to do his business, and Angelica Neal is a courtesan of great accomplishment. She's extremely desired. So one day, Jonah Hancock's captain arrives at his house to inform him that he has sold one of Jonah Hancock's ship in exchange of a mermaid. Everybody starts talking about it eventually, and so Jonah Hancock comes to meet Angelica Neal. So from here the story goes forward, how their lives kind of come together, and also the mermaid has a huge role to play. We get to read about the mermaid's perspective also from time to time, but most of the story has been told in third person. So the reason that I absolutely love this book is that the story is very different, it's very unique, and it is also extremely entertaining. So this book has a story that you want to read on and on, because the turn of events is such in the story that you always get curious as to what is going to happen next. Another reason that I love this book is that the characters in this book are very well fleshed out. Although I did not love Jonah Hancock's character that much, but he does have a personality of his own that you get to read about. Angelica Neal's character is very strong. Her entire journey is also very commendable to read about. So all in all, this book serves a very good package. It has drama, it has entertainment, and the writing is absolutely enchanting. It has talked about generally how women are treated, and then racism also has been talked about in this book from time to time. And another thing about the story is that it has built itself upon the fact that how people exploit those who are less privileged than them for their own benefits. So overall, this book is a great read, and I urge you that you pick it up if you haven't already. The next book is A Man Called Ove by Fredrick Backman. So this is a story about an old man named Ove. Now Ove is somebody who has very solid principles. He lives his life by some very set rules and he doesn't budge from them. Now Ove is a cranky man on the surface, but when you get to know Ove further, you realize that he has a heart of gold and he's a human being to be cherished. So as you read this book, you make an entire journey along with Ove as he starts the story off with being a man living alone in his isolation to becoming beloved to so many people. If you are having a bad day, this is a book to pick up, because the story sometimes might seem a bit predictable, but that doesn't really hurt you because of all the happy feeling that the story gives you and all the happiness it fills you with. So you feel that a little predictability is something that can be overlooked. This book makes you go through a lot of emotions. It makes you sad, it makes you happy, but at the end of it all, it fills you with a lot of warmth. The next book is Eleanor, Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail, Honeyman. So this is a story about a 30-year-old Eleanor Oliphant who has a job. She goes to her office, she comes back, she follows a set pattern in her life. She has a routine that she doesn't really change, and everything is seemingly fine in her life. But the only problem is that Eleanor doesn't have any friends. She's completely lonely until an incident happens where she and her colleague end up rescuing an old man, and this starts to take the walls that Eleanor has built around herself down, because Eleanor comes to learn how joyful it is to interact with people. So as you read this book, you get to know about Eleanor's character, who's extremely straightforward. She says what's on her mind, which may seem rude to the people she's talking to, but as a reader, she is an absolutely delightful character to read about. And as her personality gets unraveled, and as we find out more and more about her life, we realize that we all have a little bit of Eleanor Oliphant in ourselves, and that makes her character easy to connect at many levels. Like if you are an introvert, you are going to love this book. But if you are an extrovert also, I think you should pick this book up just for the sheer simplicity and the genius that this book serves you. The next book is When I Hit You by Meena Kandasamy. Now I've talked about some really warm and happy books. Now it's time to talk about a book that is extremely serious. Now this book has been inspired from Meena Kandasamy's own life. So this is a story about a woman who's a writer and who's trapped in an abusive marriage. She married to a man she fell in love with. Initially all was rosy, but as time passed, that man started to reveal his character, that he is a possessive and extremely misogynistic person who treats his wife like dirt. So basically we get to read about all the trials and tribulations that she faces while she's a part of that marriage and how she breaks out of it. So this story, my friends, is not for you if you are looking for getting entertained, because there is a lot of explicit language used in this book, a lot of abuse happening that you read about. Some things are absolutely horrendous to read about. When you read this book, you sympathize with the protagonist so much that you want to beat the shit out of her mental husband, but at the same time you feel extremely helpless knowing that A, you cannot really do that because he's a character. B, you realize that there are so many women out there who are sharing the same fate as the character in this story. This is not a pleasant book to read. This is extremely disturbing, has a lot of explicit language, but this is definitely an extremely important book, and if you have the heart and the courage to read it, do go for it. The next book is Burma Chronicles by Guy Delisle. So this is a non-fiction graphic novel, and in this graphic novel, Guy Delisle has chronicled his experiences in the 1 year that he stayed in Burma with his wife and his son. And the reason that I really enjoyed this book is because he has talked about his most mundane experiences in the most amusing of the ways. The funniness in this book is quite subtle. The artwork is very simple and practical, which only serves to enhance the effect of the amusement. Another thing that I really like about this graphic novel is that because it is non-fiction, I got to know a lot about how things work in Burma or Myanmar. The next book is 11 Ways to Love. So this book has foreword by Gulzar, and this book contains 11 essays. So this book is non-fiction, and 11 different people have talked about their experiences with the emotion of love as they navigated through life and how love came face to face with them. The main purpose of this book is to convey the message that there is no right or wrong love. Love is as you choose to interpret it, and that's what this book celebrates. And I love this book because it is non-fiction, so everything in this book seems so personal and real and credible as well. So this book has chronicled experiences of people from the LGBT community, people who are straight. When you read this book, you realize that all the constructs of love built by social media are quite irrelevant. Love is what you decided to be in your life, and that's why I love this book. The next book is The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. So 4 Chinese women came to San Francisco in 1940s, and because of their shared culture, they became friends and they started a ritual of playing mahjong every week. So all 4 of these Chinese women have daughters who grow up in the United States, so their daughters are very American and these women are very Chinese. So they have certain expectations from their daughters, and their daughters have certain expectations from their mothers. So this book presents the perspectives of both the sides of both the mothers and the daughters. This book has been written in a way that is so engaging. Now this book is not really a suspense novel, but still the story in itself is so enchanting that you want to know what is going to happen next, and that is why this book becomes a very intriguing read. And another thing that I like about this book is the bittersweet relationship between mother and daughters that has been talked about in this book. The characters of both mothers and daughters are very strong. Sometimes even the seemingly less strong characters are fleshed out quite well, and by the end of the story you realize that each and every character in this book has a distinct personality, and each and every character impacts you in some way or the other. The next book is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. So this is a story of Achilles and Patroclus, and they both share a very special bond which they formed in their childhood when Patroclus was exiled to Achilles' father's kingdom. So they grow up to become really close to each other, and one day Helen of Sparta is kidnapped, so Achilles has to go to the war. and Patroclus follows Achilles to the war. Now Patroclus's character is that of a prince who is awkward, and basically Patroclus doesn't really represent any stereotypical quality that one requires in a prince. He is that unsung sort of a hero. Achilles, on the other hand, is somebody who is the very definition of perfection. Achilles is a demigod, so he's extremely handsome, extremely brave, and very, very talented. As a reader, for me, it was Patroclus to whom my heart really went out, because he is introverted and awkward, so at some level I was able to relate to his character. I liked Achilles' character as well, but for his character it was more admiration on my part, but for Patroclus I just simply had a lot of love. It's a story that you want to savor. Madeline Miller does know how to weave magic with her words, and she has done so in this book. The next book is Jaya, an illustrated retelling of the Mahabharata by Devdutt Patnaik. I've also reviewed this book on my channel. You can check the video out. I'll leave the link in the description box. What I love about this book is that it's very, very comprehensive, and even the Mahabharata is a very prevalent epic in India. Still, after reading this book, I realized that there are a lot of aspects of this epic that we do not really know, and this book serves to eradicate that very ignorance because of the fact that it is so brimming with knowledge. The language is extremely simple and easily accessible. Devdutt Patnaik has also included information from other retellings of Mahabharata, so this widens the scope of knowledge that this book has. Next book is Death Under the Deodars by Ruskin Bond. This is a collection of 8 short stories by Ruskin Bond. Now generally I love all books by Ruskin Bond, but I love this book the most. Reason being, I thought this was a bit different from his other books in the sense that this book has a certain air of suspense in each and every short story. Also, there is a bone-chilling, spooky quality about the stories in this book that makes this book stand out. I read this book in winters, and that is why it was even more entertaining for me. But I believe that even if you pick this book up in summer, that would be a good choice, because when a chill runs down your spine, that would be a welcome change from the searing heat. If you haven't read these books, you should definitely go for them. They're great. I've left the affiliate links down in the description box for these books, and if you use my affiliate links, that would be great, guys. You don't have to pay anything extra. So that was it for today's video. Let me know in the comment section the names of the books that you have loved so far in 2018. I would love to hear from you. If you want to connect with me on my social media, the links are in the description. I'll be back with my next video super soon. Till then, bye bye.